Hello and welcome back. Let's see the conversions. How to convert explicitly from one data type to the other data type. We are going to see that first. So suppose you have some value 3 and you want to convert it into a float. Then what you will do, let me give you an example. You can use the float and you give the integer value and then just run it. After running it, you will be able to see that it is giving you 3.0, which is a float. And if you want to convert it into a complex number, then you can do like complex 3 and then it will come like 3 plus 0z. So when you provide this, this becomes the real part of the complex number. The imaginary part will be 0, so it will be printing 3 plus 0z. Okay. Apart from this, if you make it a bool, which means a boolean value, then any value apart from 0 is always true. So this will come out to be true. Okay, so here you can see it's true. What will happen if I give it minus 3? It will still be true because anything other than 0 is always true. If you give 0, then it will be false. So now it comes out to be false. So anything apart from 0 is always true. Okay. So this is the conversion which is known as the explicit conversion. Now we will see when you perform the different operations, then what happens? Suppose you perform an operation between the float and the complex. Then what will be the result? It will be a complex number. So let's see with the help of an example. Print, and I'm going to add one float number, and then the other one is 2 plus 3z, which is a complex number. So let's see what will be the output. So here you can see that it's 3 plus 2, 5 plus 3z, right? So ultimately float plus complex will result into a complex number. Okay. Now if I give some integer and complex, then what will happen? It's again going to give you the complex number because complex will be superseding. So 5 plus 3j here again. Okay. But if you give int plus float, then what will happen? 3 and 4.0. What will be the output? I hope you might have guessed it. It will be a float. So it's 7.0. Okay. So this rule you need to remember. These are the basic rules. You don't need to remember these things. Basically, when you do the practice, you will keep these in this thing will come again and again in front of you and you will be able to remember this easily. Okay, so with the help of operations, how the conversions will be performed, you might have seen now, and you're aware about this one now. Okay, now let us talk about the built-in functions. Okay, so built-in functions are those functions which are always available to your program. What does this mean that they are always available to your program? It means that you don't need to import any of the modules for using these functions. I have not used any of the module here. I have not imported any of the module in this file. I'm just going to use these functions, abs, min, max, pow, any of the functions I want to use. Suppose I'm using pow. I want to print the power 2 to the power of 3. So I will give pow 2 and 3. So this will return me 8. 2 to the power of 3, which is 8. So this comes out to be 8. So you can see that I didn't use any import statement here to import any of the modules which is performing these operations, which having this function, because these functions are always available to your program. Okay. Now let me write, one more function for you, which is help. If you use the help and if you give the name of the function, which is the built-in function, then the help function will give you the information about that particular function, that particular built-in function that you want to use. So let me remove every other thing from here so that you can clearly see this. So suppose I want to know the information about the ABS function. So I'm using help on ABS. And now if I run it, it will come out to be the output like ABSX returns the absolute value of the argument. Okay, so if you want to get the information about any of the built-in functions, you can use the ABS. There are many built-in functions, and I must suggest you that you should go, somewhere like, the W3 schools or somewhere from wherever you can get all those functions and their details. You can go through them yourself. And this is not the, I mean, in this video, if I try to cover each of the functions, that doesn't make any sense because on the need basis, you should be, using them. But as a developer, you must be aware that there is something like this. Okay, so I would request you to go yourself and do some Google and find out all the built-in functions and have a rough walkthrough of them just to get an idea that yes, this is also possible in the Python. Okay, so that you can do. That is about the built-in functions. And now let me tell you about the built-in modules. So these functions are the built-in functions because they are always available. And what is the meaning of built-in modules? When we talk about the built-in modules, then it means that they are always available for us, but we need to import them. Okay? Built-in modules are those modules which we can use, and it comes with the Python. But if you have to use certain modules, maybe some other developer has written some module in the Python and you don't have that module. So you need to buy that module or you need to check out that module for using that, right? But in case of built-in modules, those modules are already available to your program and you just need to import. You need to use the import statement. Suppose I want to use the floor. Okay, I want to use this function floor, and suppose you want to see the help on this floor function. Then if you write like floor, then you will be able to see. Okay, so returns the floor of the x as an integral, right? So it gives you the information about this. Okay, so you can directly use them, but sometimes you need to import them. Okay, so if it asks you to import them, you can import them, but by default, few of the built-in modules have been imported to you. Okay, so you can see here from math import floor, because these built-in functions, when we talked about, these were already imported by some modules, so that is implicitly imported. But when we use this floor, you might have seen that this line was additionally included from math import floor. If you remove this, then you will be able to see a mistake here, an error here. You are able to see an error here. Okay, so if you have to use this, you need to fix this, and if you fix this, then you will be able to quick fix add import floor. So you can see the quick fix here from math import floor. So built-in module means the modules are available to you. You just need to import them. Okay, you don't need to buy them. You don't need to, you don't need to check out them. You don't need to fetch them using the any of the repository. Okay, so this is about the built-in modules, and you can search on the other sources about all the built-in modules like exp, trunk, seal, floor, mod f, square root, factorial, etc. These are the built-in functions inside the modules are there. So inside the math module, these are the functions. So each of the module contains certain functions. Okay. So if you want to use some functions inside a module, you need to import that module. So there are few modules like math module that is available with you with the Python. But if there are other modules that you want to use and those are not available, then probably you need to buy them. Okay, so this is all about the modules and the functions. Let's see one example of this factorial. Okay, so let me just run this. Let me just print factorial and write like 6. So what should be the output? 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2. So it should come out to be 720, right? So let's see. Okay, so it came out to be 720. So this is working fine. So you can use these built-in modules and with these built-in functions that comes along with the modules. Okay, so you can go through the built-in modules as well on the this Python website and sorry, this W3 website, W3 school website, and you will be able to find out the built-in modules and associated functions. So with this, this video comes to an end. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, have a nice day and bye-bye.